Doctors in some hospitals are now making their own personal protective equipment, PPE, after some of the Chinese clothing was found to be defective. After flying over tons of PPE from China, our healthcare workers have found a lot of it, at least 20%, doesn't work. Simon Coveney has promised it will be replaced, but with a virus that is disproportionately affecting healthcare workers, many of them are expressing anger after weeks of waiting on the equipment, during which time countless numbers of staff were exposed to the virus. The whole fiasco highlights the glaring weaknesses in Ireland's economic makeup, however, where we have embraced globalism, foolishly relying on every corner of the world to plug many of the gaps in our own economy. There was a time when we had textile factories manufacturing clothes for the country, exporting what they liked and employing considerable numbers of people. There was also a time when fishing was a booming industry that put a roof over the heads of many families. And let's not forget small farms and family-owned shops. All these have suffered as a result of globalism, with an international market and economies of scale forcing many out of production. The sugar beet industry is also an example. It was devastated by quotas from the EU, and it's only started to rebuild tentatively in the past few years. It's at times like this, however, when people's lives are on the line, that we see the real cost of losing our economic independence, relying on a country on the other side of the world to send us clothing, just hoping that it might be up to scratch. Obviously, it would be difficult for a small Ireland like ours to produce everything it needs, but the government's approach of letting textile and fishing industries, for example, decline into near oblivion was never something that had to happen. It happened because of economic neglect. If you're a free market capitalist, you'll say cheap labour abroad meant our textile factories were never going to stay. But given the government's generous tax arrangements for multinational companies, maybe tax breaks and grants should be given to certain indigenous industries that will stay here in good times and bad, who circulate the money back through our economy instead of siphoning off profits to wealthy elites abroad. One of the lessons of this virus should be learning the value of a real, sustainable economy which could be better protected against the vagaries of international markets, making us less dependent on a world in turmoil. And also, those multinationals who are enjoying their stay here should be expected to return the favour when it comes to getting Ireland through Covid-19. Did you know that half the world's ventilators are produced by a multinational with plants in Galway and Athlone? The government have asked them for more ventilators, so we can only hope they won't turn their back on us.